Good morning, students. Today we are going to again read LibreOffice Writer, and we will practically see few more given concepts of LibreOffice Writer. In the practical session that we had in the previous class, we have understood how we can use LibreOffice to write a document and save it, open it, close it, give passwords to the document, and many more features. Today we are going to see some new given features in using LibreOffice Writer. So students, let us try to use it and see it practically. So I have opened LibreOffice Writer, and today what I will do is I will take a document from Word and I will try to copy this whole document. I have selected the document. I now press Ctrl with C to copy it, and I will paste that document in our LibreOffice Writer. So see students, I am pressing Ctrl V. So everything gets pasted. Why I did it? Because I wanted a big document to be already written on my LibreOffice Writer, so that the next concepts which we would see would be easily understood. Now students, see how many pages did we copy? At the end, see at the end of the screen we have number of pages. It is writing 17 pages. So we have actually copied 17 pages. The document contains details of how Python is installed and how Python works. Python is a programming language. I have chosen this given document deliberately so that I want you to understand the usage and not actually concentrate on whatever is written there. So something which is written here is only for the sake of understanding how things work here in LibreOffice. So don't go and start reading these letters or these sentences in the document. Only you need to know that they are there in the document, and we'll see how we actually use them. The first thing that today I would be helping you to understand is the option find. Now suppose students, I want to find something from my document here. Suppose I want to find the word with, W-I-T-H, with. How many withs are written? We don't know. Neither we know where actually it is written in my document. So I want to find each of these with, W-I-T-H, with. It is a word here. So how we will find it? What we will do is we will press Ctrl with F. We know students, when we press Ctrl with F, see at the end a box comes, which is actually the find box. The same thing could have been done by going to the options. See, I went to edit menu option, and here also see shortcut is Ctrl plus F, but there is a menu option also find. So I can use this menu option also. I used it. Again this find toolbar came before us. Now I will type here with, W-I-T-H, with. See students, I have typed with capital letters. Now question is it going to find even small letter with for us? The answer is yes. Do you know why the answer is yes? The answer is yes because we have not ticked this box match case. See here, there is a box called match case. If I tick this box, then it will exactly search those with which are in capital letters only. But if I don't take it, it will search every with which is written even in capital letter or small letter or combination of capital and small, every with would be searched. So let us see how it searches. So I will click this find all box. So if I click find all, every with written in this document would be shown at once. But if I use these buttons, then one finding would be shown at a time. Now if I click say this with, see if I click, it showed there actually is a with. Now find next, again click it, see with it is showing. Then again find next, see here, but it is with the word without. So even with within a bigger word will also be shown to you. If I say find previous, then previous with would be shown. And if I say find all, every with would be selected at a time. So see here with, and if we go down, here also there is a with. So this is how we find a word. Suppose I had not to write with here, I had to write without. So I need to overwrite all those with without. Maybe by mistake I have written with, built with. Maybe we wanted to write built without, and I want that every given occurrence of with should be replaced by the word without. How can it be done? So students, for that I'll close this box, again go to edit option, and there is an option within edit, submenu option is there, and it is find and replace. So let us click it. So we clicked find and replace dialog box. Now find what? With whole words only. That is, if something is written, say, and within that word with is there, don't use it. If we click it, so it would be saying that only a single word with would be taken into consideration. If with is actually amalgamated or remains within a bigger word, it is not to be taken into consideration. And you all know what match case means. Match case means capital with would only be considered, but I want every with, so I will not check match case. Now I want to replace with without, so I will write without. And if I say only replace, so one word found would be replaced, but if I say replace all, everything would be replaced. Let us write or click replace all. So when I click replace all, see what happens. Wherever we had with, everything becomes without. See, built without. Students, you can see built without here. See here, it was with previously, it has become without. So what do we find? That it is very easy in word processing software to change a given word into another word. That is, replace a word into another word. It is very easy, and it saves our time also. If I have by mistake written a wrong spelling, I didn't know the spelling. We know to err is human, so we may mistake in writing a spelling, we may make mistakes. So what we can do is, if there is a mistake, maybe we didn't know the right spelling of the word, so not to worry, you find that word in your document and replace all those wrong spellings by the right spelling at once. So this is the benefit of find and replace. So students, we have learned one given concept. Suppose I want to undo the changes which we did, so we can go to undo it. See, undo is very easy. How we undo things? Here see, it is written undo 32 replacements. So we click it, again it becomes with. Why I did undo? Because we know that with was the right one and without was the wrong one. And we only made it without to understand the concept of find and replace. So again I made it correct for further proceeding into our concepts. Now see, there is another option, student. We have 17 pages here. Now if I want to go to the 16th page at once, there is an option to go. Otherwise, what we had to do? We had to scroll down there and it would have taken a lot of time. I had to scroll like this, so it would have taken a lot of time. But there is a way. There is an option called go to page. See, shortcut Control plus G. If we go to page, it will ask which page. I'll write 16. So when I write 16 and say OK, at once I am at the 16th number page. So students, what we can do is, we can go and change things or move to a given page at once. So it is so easy. See, edit, go to page. If I want to go to the 5th page, so I'll go to the 5th page where I am. I'm here, say, at this page, first page. I want to go to the 5th page. So I'll write go to 5 and I'll write OK. So now see, I am in the 5th page, starting of the 5th page. Similarly, if I want to go to the 16th page, so I am here, I'll say edit, go to 16 and I press OK. So I am in the 16th page, starting of the 16th page. So it is so easy to traverse down to any page. Maybe even there are thousands of pages in your document. So you have understood, students, how we move to the different pages randomly. One more thing that is to be understood here is the keyboard shortcut is Control plus G. We will use Control plus G. Now students, one more concept you should understand, that while someone would have written this given document, he would have put a, say, enter key, space key, tab key. But do you think that where he put enter, where he put tab, where he put actually a space would be shown while you print this document? No, these keys would not be shown exactly where actually the space was, where actually the enter key was, but the work of space, the work of enter key would be shown. Suppose this script is to be written above, but I put an enter key here. So while printing, no one would know how I put this given script down, whether I press the enter key or I use the space bar key to go down. So this is what I want to say here is that there are some characters which we type, but they are non-printing characters. Non-printing means when you actually print the document, you would not understand how script went down, whether there was a space bar that was pressed or there was a enter key that was pressed. But if you want to see those things, even whether space bar was pressed, whether tab was pressed, if you want to see them, then there is an option. That option is known as non-printing character option. So it is here, students. See, this is non-printing character option, and it shows where actually we had put a enter key, where we put a space bar. Space bar is shown by dots, enter key by the return key character, and arrow key is used for showing the tabs. So let us click it and understand. I clicked it. See, after quick there was a space. So space is represented by a dot. Then build. After build there was a space. Then after info there was a enter key. This is the enter key. A left side arrow looks like an enter key. Then what we understand? We understand where actually we put an enter key, where we actually put a space. Now suppose I am putting a tab here. I am here. See, here I am. At this place I am. See, at this place I am. And I come here and I put a tab. You see, the tab would be shown by an arrow key. See, arrow, right arrow. So these keys normally are not shown while you print or while you write the document. You cannot understand, or somebody who is seeing your document cannot understand whether you have put a enter key or a space bar. But if you want to see these things, even you have non-printing format marks. The shortcut is Control plus F10. Now, this key does both the work. If you want to see, then also click this key. If you don't want to see, then also click this key. That means if you want to see where actually we put a space bar, where we put actually a enter key or a tab key, you have to click that. And if you don't want to see, you'll have to click the same button. So if I click the same button, everything which was shown is being removed now. So therefore such buttons are known as toggle buttons. Toggle means they are used to start it and they are even used to stop the work. So they are known as toggle buttons. So I think students have understood what non-printing characters are and how you can see where these non-printing characters such as space bar, such as enter key, such as tab can be used. Now students, one more feature that we will see is spellings and grammars. So we can well understand that this is a document which we have written. And while writing the document, if we would have typed this document, we would have made many mistakes. As I said, doer is human. While typing, we can make mistakes. So you see, when we make mistakes, the mistakes can be spelling mistakes or it can be mistakes in grammar also. Now, in Word document, you have the feature that if you do some mistake in spellings and grammar, you can well get a suggestion from the word processing software. Suppose instead of should here as a spelling should, I write again e here. So now when I write e, say it is giving no mistakes at all. Maybe it is the right word according to the computer. But when I right click it, see now when I clicked it, it showed that no, this spelling can be wrong. And what it did, it gave a wavy red given underline over it. So whenever you see a wavy red underline, you should understand that something wrong is there, because the computer's dictionary, word processing software's dictionary doesn't know this word. Now, if you see that this word has been written here and it can be wrong, you can right click over that word and you will get a suggestion. So you are given different suggestion here. You can ignore the suggestion even. That is, if you think that word is right, you can ignore it, and for next and consecutive given suggestions, if you don't want this to be suggested because you know this word is right, you can add this word to the dictionary of word processing software. Once you add this to the dictionary of word processing software, what would happen? Next time if the word is even written by you, it would not suggest us as wrong. It would understand that this is a right word because it has been already added to the dictionary of word processing software. But we all know that this is not the right word, so we will not add it to the dictionary. We will go and accept the suggestion. We will say, okay, should here which is written, I will click it, and it means that we accept the suggestion and now should becomes correct. So, I think you understood, students, that our word processing software, particularly we are talking of LibreOffice Writer. So, LibreOffice Writer suggests us and help us to correct our spellings as well as grammar also. Suppose I write something here, Ram are boy. Okay, I go down. Now this is what I wrote. This is wrong or right? So this is, I wrote here Ram are right, Ram are boy. Now if I write Ram are boy, and see, I can go to tools and I can click spellings and grammars. The spell check is complete, it says. And it says text language will make it which language? English India. Okay, so text language we made English India. We said check grammar. Now we close it. Now again we started from here and we try to check the spellings and grammars. See, it is showing some mistake here. What mistakes it is showing? It is showing this MSI as a mistake in this thing. So if I say ignore once, and it is giving some suggestions also, MSI, ISM, MSI, MI, PSI, it says this is wrong. use these given suggestions. So whenever you do a spelling mistake, it is suggesting you. Now I have also written check grammar. Is it checking the grammar properly? Let us see. I want to check this. Ram our boy. And I want to go to spellings and grammar. It is not checking this. So according to it, maybe the thing written is maybe right according to it, but we all know that it is not right. So after even you are checking through spelling and grammar feature, you should yourselves also check, because computer cannot take everything into consideration and check the things. But we all should understand that when word processing software works, then there is a red underline, wavy underline which shows spelling mistakes, and there are some even blue underlines which shows grammatical mistakes. So there can be blue underlines also to show grammatical mistakes. So you should understand, students, that we have, see here, a blue underline sort of, so they think that there is a grammatical mistake, and if you give a space, see, I am giving this space. Now it is showing, it shows that this cannot be a word. If you go for the suggestion, so it is not giving any suggestion even properly. So there are some, now you know, because this is correct, this is not wrong. Whatever is written here is wrong, so you leave it as it is. While you print, these given suggestions would not be printed. That is, that red underline will not come, the blue underline will not come. So it is not a big problem. But our way of working should be, we should always go and check where there is an underline to understand whether it is a mistake at all or not. If it is not a mistake, we can ignore it, and even if it is required many times, we can add it to the dictionary. And moreover, even we should ourselves be very vigilant to check if there is a mistake which spelling and grammar feature cannot understand or show to us. We will have to correct it ourselves also. So this feature of spelling and grammar, it helps us to some extent, but we should be vigilant by our own self also. So students, I think you have understood that there is a feature called spellings and grammar. Then there is one more feature that is known as auto spell check. It is always there, auto spell check, see, within tools. So if I go for auto spell check, the same thing happens. Auto spell check actually automatically checks the spelling. Now it has not checked it automatically. Earlier auto spell check, it is also a toggle given option. So it was on, so it was showing the suggestion at once. Now I switched off the auto spell check option. But if I click it, again it will be switched on. And see, this red line comes again. So when you click it, when the red lines are coming, you click it, they go away, because you have switched off the auto spell check option. Now when it is switched off, you again click it, it gets switched on, and automatically whenever you are writing something, it will show that this is an error, this is an error, sort of errors will be shown through curly wavy lines. So auto spell check is a toggle option. When clicked, it will at first click switch on itself. Again click, it will switch off itself, and what it does, auto spell check, it automatically checks the correctness of the spelling and suggests you. So this is what it means. Suppose I come here at build.bat. So it is giving a session buildability, but we know that this session may be not used by us. Our build.bat is correct, so we'll ignore it. So this is how we work through spell check features. Now student, there is something called synonyms also. Now what is a synonym? Synonym you all know. That means if we have a word, suppose there is a word called official. I want a different word but having the same meaning as official. So where we will go? We will go to synonym. Now when we go to synonym, it will suggest us words which have the meaning similar to official, and we can use these words. Suppose we go to tools, and where we go for synonyms, we will go thesaurus for synonyms. See, this is thesaurus. Thesaurus is a place where we get both synonyms as well as antonyms. So you can go here at thesaurus and click it. As you click thesaurus, you get the similar meaning term, authoritative. That is authoritative, authorized, ex officio. They are similar given terms, and with that, with similar terms, there are some terms which are related terms, and there is an antonym also. See students, this is antonym, unofficial. You can choose anything. Now if you choose unofficial instead of official, what would be written there? Unofficial would be written, because replace option when clicked, it will replace official with unofficial. So a lot of suggestions are given through thesaurus. It gives similar terms, related terms, antonyms, nouns, adjectives, everything it has with it. You can use any term you like. So this is a big help to you when you write a document. This is one way of opening for synonym. Another way, suppose I want to change it to authoritative. So I replace it. Now it becomes what? Important. So instead of official, now which word came in place of official through thesaurus? The word was important. So you can change and select the words from here and change your word with the word given on the box as suggestion. So this is how it works. So if I again go for Ctrl Z, it would be undone. How we went to important? Let us again receive. We went into tools. Within tools we went into thesaurus. In thesaurus we went into, say, this authoritative. Okay, similar term, authoritative, and what we did, we replaced with what? Authoritative. Now I replaced it with authoritative. So it is so easy to do. In the previous given situation, I said replace it with important, so it was replaced by important, but here it has been replaced with authoritative. So students, we have understood how to use the thesaurus. Thesaurus contains everything, the adjective form, the noun form. So everything is there. Moreover, it has antonyms, similar terms, that is same meaning terms, or a bit related terms. Everything it has, you can choose from those given words, the word which better suits your document. So you can use these words and do your work properly. So students, you have understood how thesaurus works for us. Now after thesaurus, we should understand that thesaurus are there. Dictionary, as I said, the Microsoft Word had a dictionary. LibreOffice Writer also has a dictionary. These dictionaries keep the words which are already given by the creator of this software, and you can add your own words also. Now when you add the words to dictionary, these words would be taken into consideration as correct words now, and you will not be suggested a corrected word for it. For example, if you add build.bat to dictionary, now if you add build.bat to dictionary, now computer knows that it has been added to dictionary. Now what will happen? If you now automatically check the spelling, say it is now what? It is showing. But let us see. Build.bat. Now build.bat here, as it is a single term, it is not showing to be a mistake. Similarly, if I go here, no suggestions are there now, because computer understands that build.bat is correct. I went there and it is now understanding. If I am going to check it, it would not be wrong, it is now correct. I am only clicking it and it is clearing itself and saying that okay, it is right now. We have understood that build.bat is right. So if you now write even somewhere build.bat, let us write it here, build.bat, B-U-I-L-D, build. See, it is suggesting us. Now it is saying that it is a word in the dictionary. Why to write? You use this suggestion. So I use this suggestion. So we will write build.bat. And is it giving it as error? No, no underlines now. It is now correct because we have added it to the dictionary. So students, we have done everything regarding synonyms, thesaurus, dictionary, spell checks. Okay. Then we have done the non-printing characters. All these things have been done. Now students, what we will do is, we'll understand formatting of text. Now how do we format a text? That means how do we make the text attractive? So we can do many things to format the text, and we can use anything. See, there is a format option. We can use format option to do a lot of things. And with that we also have a formatting toolbar here. This toolbar can also be used. So different, even when you actually right click something on the document, you get options like character formatting, paragraph formatting, and you can do formatting from here also. So many options are there. You can go for menu bar, you can go for formatting toolbars, you can go for the context menu by right clicking it, and you have the keyboard shortcut also. What is keyboard shortcut? For example, I want to make testing, the word testing bold. I'll use Ctrl+V. Now it becomes bold. So this is keyboard shortcut we use. So many options are there. Students, one thing to be understood here is, whenever I copied everything from Word, I brought it from Word. See, this is Word. I brought everything, selected it and Control copied it, and then brought it to my LibreOffice. So it also copied the formatting done in Word. Now if I want to clear that formatting and make my new formatting here, we can go to which option? We can go to format option, and there is something called Ctrl+M or clear direct formatting. Now what is clear direct formatting? Direct formatting means when we copy something and bring it here, whatever formatting had been done, that also gets copied from there and gets pasted here. I want to clear it out. So if I press clear, see, something happened there. See, the word is now different from all other words, because the formatting that was also copied for the word the is now undone. Suppose I want to format the whole given, I am to clear the formatting for the whole given thing. So select everything, and from format go for clear direct formatting. See, everything now has a different format. So it is unformatted now. The whole document is unformatted, and you can format it according to your own wish. So clear direct formatting, what it does? It clears all the formatting which had already been brought through copy paste, and now it is free from all sorts of formatting, and you can use your own formatting here. You can change the size, say 16, now size becomes bigger. You can change the font style. So I went to a different style. See, the style is changing. You go to any style, the style will change. Algerian, so the style is changing, so you can change the style. So you can format it yourself. So students have understood that you can clear already existing formatting, and we can even give new formattings to the things. Now students, there is a word called indentation. Now what is indentation? Now this is a document which is starting at a distance of say 1 inch from the start of the page. Suppose that it is starting from 1 inch to the start of the page. Now I want to make the distance of the start of the document more than the distance from the page. How can I do it? I have to go to the option increase indentation. What is the option? Increase indentation. Now in format we go to text, and in text there is the option increase indentation. Now how we'll go to increase indentation? We have different options. See, we have the option in spacing. Actually in spacing we have the option increase indentation. Now if I click increase indentation, see, everything gets further at the right. If we want to increase this further more, so spacing, again increase indentation. Now where it is, you can see it is near 1 here at this place. Now if I again want to increase the indentation, that is starting of the actual text from the start of the page, I want to make it more distant, so it again goes further by 1 inch. So in this way I can increase it, even I can decrease it also. So it is for only making the document attractive. You can decrease it also, so it comes nearer, again decrease it, it comes nearer. So this is known as indentation. What is indentation? The place where the text actually starts with respect to the start of the page. That is known as indentation. You can even give colors, you can make text bold. How to make text bold? You have many options to make the text bold. You can go for keyboard options, Control B, and make the text bold as I did. Suppose I want to make the text of this much part only bold, so I will make it bold. I can make it italics also, Control plus I, it becomes italic, Control plus U, it becomes underline. And these are here the things. See, this is bold, this is italic, this is underline. I used keyboard shortcuts. You can go for the formatting toolbar also. Now if you want to write H2SO4, so H2SO4. Now but 4 and 2 should be at the footsteps of H and O. So you select this, and here you see there is option. The shortcut is Control plus Shift plus B. But if you use this option, click it, H2, 2 becomes down, here 4 becomes down. So this is how we make chemical formulas. Now if you want to write X square, so you have X square to be written. So first again click it, because they are toggle buttons. Now if you write X and 2, now this 2 should be selected, and this button, the superscript button, should be selected, clicked. So it becomes X square. So students, you have seen how superscript and that H2SO4 in that 2 and 4 were said to be a subscript. So these should be done, superscript and subscript. We can do it by the keyboard shortcuts. Keyboard shortcut is what? Shift, that is Control plus Shift plus P for superscript and Control plus Shift plus B for subscript. You can even use format option. In format options also there are these superscript. See here, superscript, subscript. You can use from there also. So menu bar gives the same option. Formatting toolbar gives the same option. You can even use the keyboard shortcut. Many ways are there. You can use one out of them. So students, we have understood these things. Now similarly, if you take a paragraph, you can go and change the things for the paragraph. And before going to paragraph, we should also understand that we can change the color also. See, color is changing wherever I am selecting this word, interpreters, color is changing. You can change the font color. Any color you want, you can give those colors. This is the highlighter. You can give highlighting. See, if you give highlighting, what will happen? That part would be highlighted. So if I come here and I go for highlighting this part, see, this part gets highlighted. So highlighter, again it is toggle button, click it again, highlighter goes off. Only this part has been highlighted now. So you can use highlighters. You can even use the paragraph in a way that the background color of the paragraph can change. So these options are there, students. So what we'll now learn is about the background option of a paragraph. We learn how to give colors to a paragraph, how to give border to a paragraph or the whole document. We'll go for that. So let us go and select a part of the text. Suppose this paragraph I want to work with. So we'll go to format, and this time we'll go to format, and in format where I am going, see paragraph. So I am going to paragraph here. When I go to paragraph, this box opens, dialog box. You can give borders, you can give colors, as I said, the background color. How to give border? Suppose I want to give border. So we will choose a border from here. Suppose I choose this border. We increase the size of the border. So this is the size, that is style of the border, and I increase the border width. I make it 5, and I change the color even. I make the color of the border say green. Now if I do this and if I press a OK button here, see, the whole page has now borders. Every page would have a border. So you can give border also wherever we are writing our document. So within this document, because this document has been written but there were no borders, you can make borders also. So borders can be given. And do you know why this part has been given a border here? Because this is taken to be a paragraph. The second part is taken to be another paragraph. Why? Because the formatting has been done in such a way that enter key was not pressed properly. So they all are taken to be one paragraph at a time. So in this way, we can give the borders to the paragraph. We can even use, say, background color to the paragraph. So we'll go to format, we'll go to paragraph, and we will go to area, and from area we'll go to color, and in color if I choose any color for the background, suppose I choose this color for the background and we say OK, so the background has now a different color. You see, background is colorful now, blue color is there in the background, so you can give colors to the background of your document. So you can give colors. How we went to the color? We went to format, then paragraph, then area, then color. How we went to the border? We went to format, then paragraph, then border, and then we selected the lines, width, size, etc. The border also came into existence. So students, these are the things we have done, but now I'll undo these things. So I undo both the things. Now we'll understand how to align the paragraph to the center, to the left, to the right. Shortcut keys are also there. We have Ctrl plus L and all, but we can do it without the shortcut key also from this formatting toolbar. See, this is Ctrl plus L, Ctrl plus E, Ctrl plus L is for left alignment. The text is already left alignment. Now for right alignment, we'll use this click. Now the text is right aligned, means everything starts from the left, but at the same line, same vertical line, everything stops at the right. Center align, that means everything starts at the center and the parts written are equidistant. Each line is equidistant from the center towards left and right. Justify means it actually is vertically stopping at the same place from right even and from left. So this is justify. Here also vertical line to start with. Here also the boundary is a vertical line to stop. So here also you see right side 17 and left side starts from 0. So this is how it works. They are alignments. So students, you have understood alignments, you have understood increasing indent, decreasing indent, all the things which we wanted to understand today we have seen. Now you need to practice about these things. Before closing the class, we will read one more concept, and for that what I will do is I'll open a new document. Let us say don't save to this document, and now I try to open a new document. So how I will open a new document? I will go to file, I will go to new and text document. So new document opens, and what I want to do with this new document, I want to go for bullets and lists. Now this is bullets and this is numbering, that is bullet numbering and list. If I click this, see this dot comes, I write something. When I go down, another dot comes, I write. So when you write some points, you can use this bulletin. So bullets can be given, and different types of bullets are there. You can give different types of bullets. Now how you can give different types of bullets? In formatting, there is an option called bullets and numbering. You can go and choose the different types of bullets from here. If I give this, then everything changes to this given arrow. So whatever you want to give as bullets and numbering, you can use from here. If you want to give this, it changes to this. Now similarly, if you want to give numbers, so how we give numbers? We'll go to numbering. Any number you give, okay, you say, now it becomes numbers. So you can give bullets and numberings. And one more thing, if you take a given word here, if you want to change the word's case, that is make it capital letters or small letters, 6 given text options are given, and which are case options. See uppercase, click it, everything becomes upper. Now in format again go, you click lowercase, everything becomes small. The text you selected, it will change accordingly. Okay, now cycle case. Now what is cycle case? First capital and everything gone. So different case options are there. You will have to use these case options to understand it. Now if I go and write something more here, so anything we write, so these all would be working like what? They would be working like cycle case. Now if I again go and change the style of the text, that is the case of the text. We can go to even many more things, sentence, case, capitalize each word. Now each word's first letter would be capital. So options are there, 6 options are there. You have to learn those options and practice those things. So I think students, you have understood how it works. So this is how we work with our LibreOffice Writer. Thank you students, and have a very nice day. We'll have something more in the next class about LibreOffice Writer.